Hello, it's Mike here from AvanTech. I wanted to show you a few things within our new features of version 1.5 of our IoT platform in the dashboard, where we've got a widget that can be created that allows you to enter in manual parameters in a form type of widget. So I'm going to show a couple of things, how you set that up and create your own sensors on that widget, and then where you can configure them so that you can show them in a dashboard or in graphs or charts or anywhere else in the platform. So let's get started. So first thing I'll do here is just edit the dashboard itself, and then I'm going to add this new drop down for the form widget. Once I've got that, I'm just going to size it into the right hand side here. And then I'm going to edit the configuration of this. And what I'll do is I'll create a new preset. All of these forms get saved within a preset, so it allows you to have multiple of them, and then you can easily either show more than one or you can flip between them easily. So let's set something up here with example for doing a vehicle inspection. So I'm just going to create a form called that. And then I have to associate this with a device. So on this system here, I'm just going to use this service rig, which is a simulated device. And I'm going to save this as my form. And then what I can do is I can add the elements that I want for that form. So I'm going to add a couple here, and there are three types that you can add. You can add text, true or falses, and numbers onto the form. So I'm going to put a few things in so that we can do some other things with these in the dashboards. The first thing I'm going to add is just a spot to add user comments, and this will stay as a text field. And if I just move this over a little bit, and then I can control the size here, and everything's live, you can see with the widget on the right hand side. So I'm just going to set that text field up, and then I'm going to add a couple more. I'm going to add a tire pressure first, and this will just be an input field where we could manually enter in a number for tire pressure. I'm just going to limit the size of that, and I'll set a range so it can be entered from 0 to 90, just to limit the parameters that the user can enter in. And I'm going to add a couple of true-false conditions, and I'll put labels on these as well. So one for a windshield check. So we'll have this for if everything's okay with the windshield. We'll add one for the user doing a light check. So if lights are okay, we'll put a boolean for that. We'll just shrink the width down a little, and we'll add one more, and we'll do that with a brake check. So brake's okay. Check the spelling there. And again, this needs to be a boolean, so it's a button. And if I just set the width of these, they should all fit on my widget nicely. And so I'm going to save this as my preset. I'll make that my default so it stays on the dashboard. And then once I've saved this and I close the configuration, you can see it's updated. They're all available now out on the dashboard itself. So I'll save that dashboard as well. And I don't need to leave editing on it. So now, anyone who comes to this dashboard can enter in a comment if they're doing a manual check on the equipment, and they can fill in the parameters for this. So I'll just do that. I'll set this to 55, say that's my tire pressure reading, and I can submit that. So that's all it takes to create one of these. What the system does, it actually stores those parameters now as a sensor with that device, and in order to use those in other widgets or graphs or alarms, I have to also set those up for my device. So if I flip over to the device tab here and find my service rig and enter in its list of sensors, those aren't showing up as configured sensors yet, but they are available. So they're just set up here as missing. So what I can do is I can come in here and I can find all these new forms that were added, and I can add these as a sensor, and I have to just specify what type it is. So I'll set these as an OK, and then I can give it whatever name I like. So instead of this form underscore name that it does by default, I'm just going to say that this is inspection : brakes, and then that will be the name that shows up as that sensor. So there's my inspection brakes, and I'm just going to add each of these vehicle inspection forms in a similar way. Make sure for comments it's set up as string so that you can just fill in text or see it as text. And I'll just add each of these other checks as well. So I've got the lights. So lights OK, I'll set that as my Boolean. Save that. And then tire pressure, I'm going to put that in, of course, as a number. Oops. Give it the name, set the type as a number, save that sensor. And the last one is the vehicle inspection for the windshield. So we'll just call that inspection windshield OK. And we'll set that as Boolean and we'll save it. So you can see as I saved each one, they're available now as device sensors, and I can go and I can put those in a dashboard for viewing, and I can look at them over time and chart them and see them as any other channel would. So that's it for that. Another video I'll show a little more details on how you can configure alarms and notifications using those.